Hey guys, J-Man here with the weekly X-Men talk. I am late on this video a couple of days. Super busy week. Not going to get into it. Not a great week for me, but in any case, send your thoughts and prayers in the comments below. Okay. New Mutants number 24. You know, I don't know. I don't like the art in this though. That's right off the bat. I don't like the look of that. This book has been it's been kind of like okay throughout its entire run. It's something that I used to look forward to a little bit more than I do now. Now I'm more just like, I'll read it because I got to read it. There's a lot of emotional stuff going on with these characters. The problem is that I just don't care about it. It's not bad. Like, remember when there was let's say maybe Marauders or what was the other one that I didn't? X Factor, where there's these character things going on, these emotional things going on, and I just it's just awful. It's not like that. It's not poorly written or something like that. It's just that I personally just can't get into it, and I don't care at all. The only thing I really liked, boom, was Thunderbird. Now Thunderbird is awesome. Okay, I've got the bust, the Bowen bust. I've got the figure. I think they only made one figure of him. Period, and it's the Marvel Legends. He came with Storm. The Storm figure, and that's good too. So I mean, it wasn't like it was a dud, but I basically bought it just for Thunderbird, and then for Warpath, I've got the Warpath 90s figure. It's down there. You can't see it. So I bought the Warpath 90s figure. They made two. There's a skinny looking one, which I didn't like. I like the beefier one. And then the Marvel Legends I have is the one where it's sort of like this costume. But Thunderbird, I know he was only in a few books, but I just think he's awesome. So this exchange was great. And that's because I happen to really like Thunderbird. He's kind of one of my favorites. At one point it was going to be one of my tattoos that I got. And I just didn't. I don't know. I just couldn't fit him in. Maybe I can fit him in somewhere. I'll fit him in somewhere. But I love Thunderbird. I think this is great. So these few pages, 3 or 4 pages, was 10 out of 10. That was great. And it's not bad. I'm not ranking this bad or saying that you shouldn't like it or whatever. Scout comes back. That was cool. They deal with Shadow King. We got a little stinger at the end here. Yeah, it's okay. I don't really rate comics, but New Mutants is something that I will continue to read all the X books, but it's not something that I'm like, oh man, I cannot wait to read the next one. But there is one that came out that I was like, cannot wait to read this one, and that is the X Deaths of Wolverine number 2. So we've got the X Lives of Wolverine and the X Deaths of Wolverine. And even though this isn't, I don't know, it's not really about Wolverine. This is one of these, it's almost like the book of Boba Fett, where half the episodes, it's not even about Boba Fett, right? It's just Mara McTaggart on the run from Mystique. But I find it very interesting. I don't know. Again, I don't know what it is. I just, maybe the writing, I think the art is nice too. This cover's very symbolic, how she's stuck in between this. So we saw Wolverine is sort of looks like a warlock kind of character Wolverine. I don't know what we're going to call this Wolverine. Well, if there's a name for him, let me know in the comments if you know his name is Death Wolverine or something. And then Mystique is in the back, always after her. Good stuff. I like where you can tell what they mean in the cover. Covers used to be, this is going to happen in this story. Or it's a symbolic thing of what the story is going to be about. But lately, most of the comics have been, it's just an action pose of the heroes. It's like a team pose, and you're like, oh, okay, okay. So it seems very lazy. It's almost like they just send out these, I don't know, maybe this is how they do it. They just say, hey guys, do a bunch of X-Men covers, and then they just pick some covers, and then they put them on and say, okay, there you go. As opposed to saying, look, this cover, here's what we need depicted. In this story, Mara McTaggart is being pursued by Mystique in this thing. Plus there's this weird version of Wolverine running around, and we don't know what that's about. So what can you give me to show that on this cover? And that's what we get here. I'm tired of these action pose covers. I call them APCs, these action pose. It's everyone's yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, it was cool in the 90s, I guess, but like really, okay. Good art here and colors and stuff. Okay, so yeah, she's on the run, just trying to survive. She she calls Jane Foster our favorite. Oh boy, Jane Foster. Okay, but she's got cancer, so she's like, hey, they put this on me. I'm not going to really spoil this because this is only a mini series, really, and I don't really want to tell you all the details. And it has been a couple of days, so you probably already read it all. But I really like this, and like this Wolverine, whatever we're calling him, is pretty neat. They're going to make a figure of that. They're going to make a figure since there's like 4,000. Remember how there's one Thunderbird figure? There's 4,000 Wolverine figures. There may actually be 4,000. I just made up a number, but man, he is like killer in this. I'm not going to show you some of the cool stuff that happens here, but I'm really digging this, man. I'm really looking forward to see how this plays out. I just can't. There's some good gore in here too, which I'm not going to show you. I just can't believe that now, in the time where all of these X books finished, we're starting to get these little mini series where they're super compelling. Sabretooth, the two Wolverines. I'm thinking this needs to be the way. Like, this is the way, to quote Mandalorian. Like, I mean, this should have been what they should have had. Your 1 or 2 titles. Let's say it's New Mutants. Maybe jazz that up a little bit with a bit more action. Jazz up New Mutants a bit. X-Men is pretty good as it is. So you got your solo X-Men book, your New Mutants book. That might be all you really need. And then you just maybe do 6-parters. So every year you get 2 6-parters, and it could be a Wolverine. Wolverine needs his own solo book for sure, because that's just always going to sell. So they need that. But then you just do these little 6-parters. And then you can do your little graphic novels. You can combine them into a trade paperback. To me, they're still comic books in trade paperback form. But I know Marvel and DC both like to have these graphic novels, so that they can sell them, in bookstores and all that stuff. Okay, well, this is the way to do that. You have these just little mini series every time, and then you can explore different ideas, and it doesn't get tired. Like Marauders. If out of the entire Marauders run, there was probably 5 issues that were okay. Why didn't you just do those 5 and put them together as one story, Like I thought Inferno was pretty neat. I even thought Magneto, the Trial of Magneto, even though it was mistitled, it was like the story was okay. They could have tightened that up a little bit, but that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine 4, 5, 6-parters, right? Like, and then you can have your solo books. Because this everyone getting their own solo book is just tiresome, right? And they don't, and we know that they dragged out half the stories in those books too, right? Let's be honest. Even if you like them, they dragged them out. I like one-offs even. I like one issue, you read it, you're done, it's a story, it's done. And you can just pick that up anytime, because when you recall back to the favorite stories that you read, like let's say Giant Size X-Men #1, I love that comic. Probably my favorite comic if I just pick one. And it's great to always revisit that and go back and read it. Or even like Kingdom Come, let's say, for DC, which I'll be talking about on Clobberin Time's channel on Monday. Link to his channel is below. But yeah, like, I mean, this this idea of going back and revisiting these things, you can't do that when it's like an ongoing, legacy story that's taking forever. If it's 5 or 6 issues, then at least you can go back and say, okay, I can read this, I really like that Inferno. Let me go read that again, or even the old Inferno, which I have too. So anyways, that's my spiel. This was really good. I'm not going to show the rest of it. I think the art is awesome. I think the story is good. The writing's good. This was just awesome. So I'm very excited for these X Deaths and X Lives issues. But that is going to be it for this week. Hopefully I'll be on time next Wednesday. But tomorrow I'll be live streaming at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be talking about Peacemaker and the book of Boba Fett and whatever else comes up. It's a pretty chill stream. But okay, guys, that is it for this week. Until next time.